Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya if you're new, and today is a little bit of a weird video. It's kind of a response video to comments that I get every time I show the White Knight watercolors, which are from Russia. It's a Russian company. And I've gotten comments in the past and I would write back, but I kind of want to shut it down. And if it happens in the future, I can refer whoever it is to this video so they can understand where I'm coming from. And usually I don't, pay too much attention to a negative, like a mean comment or a negative comment, because it happens. This is YouTube. So it's kind of like part of the process, part of the experience. But this one, I really wanted to make a response video because the topic hits close to home and it's something that really bothers me. Okay, so the comments that I've gotten in the past are, oh, I wouldn't buy anything from Russia. Comments like, those kind of comments. And then the recent one that I did on the granulating, somebody called them, ew, Putin paints, like I wouldn't buy those. I had someone say, oh, you should look into Ukrainian watercolors and Rosa watercolors that are Ukrainian. And it's like, I would look into them even regardless, not because of the mean comments. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you should look into Ukrainian. I actually have Rosa watercolors and I love them. And it has nothing to do with, where they're from or anything like that. They're wonderful paints. But I wanted to make a video because I feel like the people that, and then I'm going to show you another comment of what someone said. Hang on a sec. Let me get my iPad. Okay, I'm going to try not to give you too much glare, but one of the comments was, while I really like your channel, I cannot comprehend how you can buy and promote, in capitals, Russian products. This company is paying taxes in Russia, thanks to which they're able to make more missiles that are flying every night at me and my family. You're directly contributing and sponsoring their weapon making. This is disheartening. Now, at the time, I thought it was completely out of line and outrageous for her to say this. Look at what she's saying. You're directly contributing and sponsoring weapon making. But I said, you know what? She's going through a lot. And so, I'm not mad at her. I don't agree with what she's doing, but I'm not mad because I could see that she is obviously going through a very difficult time. And I told her that my heart goes out to her and all of the Ukrainian people. The reason that I made this video is because the war in Ukraine is absolutely heartbreaking to me. And I can remember, I don't watch the news because I take things very personally, I take it hard when I see images, children and all over the world of disasters and war zones all over the world. It really makes me very, very sad, especially when there's kids in the pictures. And these images are very hard for me to get out of my brain. And it just makes me sad. So I took it very hard because I really care. My heart really is breaking for Ukraine. But I think what she doesn't understand, and a lot of people don't understand why I wanted to make the video, is that the government, people are confusing the two. They're putting them together. There's the government and then there's the people. It's completely different entities. The people have no control over what the government does. And so to blame an entire nation, like the Russians, the entire Russian nation, for something that the current government is doing is totally wrong. And it's dangerous. And I hope you stick to the end of the video because I will explain to you what I mean by dangerous and why it upsets me so much. So first of all, the White Knight Company was established in 1932, 1934, something like that. And Putin was only born in 1957 or 58. So he was born 2 or more decades after they were established. They are going to be around after him. They were around before him, and they have nothing to do with them other than the fact that they're Russian. Okay? So, for example, let's look at Get Creative 6. Get Creative 6, for example, is an American company. And So does that mean that it's a Trump book or an Obama book, whoever is the president at the time? So right now we have Trump. I'm just using that as an example. It doesn't matter. Is it okay to call these books Trump books? And maybe you don't like Trump. What if tomorrow Trump does something that you don't like? Or any American president? Does that mean all the American companies are responsible for what he does? I mean, we have no control over what the president does. You might think, oh, she says you're paying taxes. If I don't pay taxes in my country, I will go to jail. I have to pay taxes here. So, and I have no control over what the American president does. I don't even vote. Me and my husband stopped voting a while ago because we don't even believe in any elections. We believe everything is rigged. You can believe whatever you want, but we don't participate anymore in that. And believe me, I have been on both sides of the aisle. I have family that are, love Trump, hate Trump. I have both sides. I'm completely out of it at this point. And it doesn't matter. I want my viewers to feel whatever side you are politically, I want you to feel welcome in my channel. I don't go there and I don't want to go there. It has nothing to do with creativity and coloring. But I'm giving an example for the sake of this video. Crayola, for example, my Crayola super tips. So if America decides to attack a country tomorrow and do something bad, or maybe there was something already bad that happened that we did. Well, I don't want to say we, the government did. Our government did it, not us. So does that mean these are Trump markers because they're American? I mean, the guy in the comments called these Putin paints. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, like these companies have been around before the president and they'll be around after whatever president, okay? So think about what you're saying. Now, where it's dangerous is, for example, when Pearl Harbor was attacked by Japan, for example, in World War II, and it was a horrific attack, horrific. And it was the Japanese government that attacked Pearl Harbor, not the people of Japan. The Japanese people had no control and they're innocent. What happened was in the United States, I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but Japanese Americans were rounded up into concentration camps and were put in camps. When I was a high school student, it makes me cry just thinking about it. When I was in high school, I was hold on, let me stop the video. Okay, sorry, I had to stop the video because I was tearing up. But when I was in high school, I volunteered at a museum. We have a museum here in Los Angeles called the Japanese American National Museum. And, that's where I learned about that. And all these people did is they were Japanese. They were living in the States. They were American. And they didn't do anything. They were not the ones that attacked Pearl Harbor. You see what I'm saying? You cannot group the government and the people together. It's two entities separate. But what happened is that they were rounded up into concentration camps because they were Japanese. And they were blamed for what the government of Japan at the time did. So this is the museum in Los Angeles where I volunteered as a teenager. And I'm going to read you this part. It says, during World War II, the U.S. government incarcerated over 120,000 Japanese Americans, most of whom were U.S. citizens, in 10 remote camps. So after the fear and prejudice after Pearl Harbor. So they were forced to remove from their homes. They lost their homes, property, and civil liberties. That's what I mean by this kind of talk is dangerous. Imagine how my Russian viewers feel here or seeing those comments. How do they feel? They didn't do anything. They're just living in Russia. What do they have to do with what the government does? They don't have anything to do with it. Okay, sorry, I calmed down a little. So I can remember when I was in college, George Bush was in office and there was the war in Iraq. The United States government attacked Iraq. Attacked Iraq. So the entire world hated the United States at that point. And I remember thinking how unfair it is. I mean, Europeans were just talking so bad about Americans. They hated, Americans at that time. And it's just not fair. It's not cool to generalize an entire people that are just innocent people with whatever the government at that time is doing. You know what I mean? So the same thing happens with, it's all over history. Like, for example, with Turkey, the government of Turkey refuses to accept acknowledge the Armenian genocide, which was horrific. And so the Armenians have every right to be angry at the Turkish government, every right. But they don't have any right to be upset at regular Turkish people because the Turkish people have no control over that. It's the same, during after 9/11, there was a lot of hate towards Muslims, but not every Muslim is supporting of terrorists. I mean, yes, there are Muslims that support terrorism, but not everybody. It's not fair to generalize like that. It's dangerous. It causes hate. Same thing is happening with Israel. Whatever people think they know about what's going on in Israel, and if they don't like the government of Israel at that time, you do not take it out on the Israeli people, the innocent people, and on Jewish people all over the world. The anti-Semitism is on the rise in America and in the world. There's crimes against Jews, innocent Jewish people that are getting crimes against them. Hate, so much hate on the internet because they don't like the government of Israel. So, yes, my viewer, Valerie, you have every right to be angry at the Russian government, but you have no right to be angry at the Russian people or a company such as White Knights because they didn't do anything to you. And neither did I by buying from them. It has nothing to do with your war in Ukraine, absolutely nothing to do with it. And for you to leave a comment like that, it's just, like I said, it hits close to home, and it's not okay. And sorry, I had to stop again. Okay. So she actually doubled down, even though I should have called her out immediately, but she doubled down and wrote me something even worse after I said in my completed pages video. She said I was mocking her, but I wasn't. I was saying what she said. But listen, you gotta see this. It's outrageous. She's saying here, it's interesting how you said and literally mocked my comment only because I dare to say it's disheartening that you're promoting a Russian product, making yourself a victim. Of course, your money, your choice, but you can make this choice because you have a privilege to live far enough from that country and not suffer from their actions. In the summer, a literal missile hit an apartment near me, and I have filmed myself and my reaction to it. I think it'll be more educational to see that than your response of why you choose to buy these products. I'm sure it's going to be a bunch of whataboutism sentences anyway, which I heard many times before. So Valerie, no, you need to be educated and you should watch my video because you are completely out of line. And it's sad that I need to explain this, that you need to separate these two to grown adults. And this is happening all over the internet and in history. Then she says, I literally never write negative comments to anyone. And I never say anything bad, only praising all the colorists in the community. But this time, it makes me sick to my stomach that you can easily not make a video about great Russian watercolor and still choose to promote it anyways. Like, I had the choice not to make this video. Every day, Russian state TV is making videos how they should wipe out Ukrainian cities. And that's exactly what they're doing now. Even to write this comment to you, I had to wait for the electricity to come back. You have beautiful works and are really talented. I enjoyed your channel a lot and I wish you nothing but the best. But I have to unfollow. And this, wait for the sentence. I cannot see the person who directly helps Russian kill me and my family. She is completely out of line, and it's a completely outrageous comment. I don't care what you're going through. You don't do that. And you need to learn this distinction, and everybody on the internet needs to learn that because it's dangerous. And it makes me really, really sad. So to close it off, I wanted to say that my channel is welcome to everybody, and creativity is a human trait it's a trait of humanity. Creativity is part of humanity, and that goes beyond borders, religions, races, all of that. It has nothing to do with it. And I am proud of the video that I made about these watercolors. I would do it again in a heartbeat. And I will continue to talk about white knights because I love them. They're a wonderful watercolor. They happen to be Russian, and there's nothing wrong with that because Russia is a beautiful country with beautiful people, even if the government right now is doing something horrible. It has nothing to do with the people. It has nothing to do with White Knight Company. And like I said, I'm proud of it. I would do it again, not because I, God forbid, support the war in Ukraine. I would never purchase anything if I thought that it was helping the war in Ukraine. But I am proud of it because it has nothing to do with the war in Ukraine. That's why. And so thank you so much for tuning in. I apologize for getting emotional, but like I said, it hits close to home. It is what it is. So have a wonderful week and month of coloring. I will see you in the next video, and it'll be positive and about coloring. So thank you so much for tuning in, if you did till the end. Bye, everybody.